All right, all right. Hello, everybody. It's 10:02 in San Francisco, 7 p.m. in Barcelona, and welcome to Hack Together. So, Hack Together is our monthly, irregularly hacking program, Twitch live stream from Typeform, where I hope to hack some stuff together with you. And show you around what we're building with Typeform, with Videoask, and other stuff. I am Nicolas. I'm the developer advocate at Typeform, and so my role is to make your developer experience more fun and have everything you need for building around our tools. And so today, what we're going to do, and I will leave it a couple of minutes before we actually get started, but just to introduce what we're going to do. Today, we are going to hack with Notion, and we're going to hack with Videoask. So Videoask is another product from Typeform that is helping you to interact with your users, customers through video. And we're going to see how we can send the data to Notion. And if you don't know Notion, it's kind of a magical tool that does a bunch of different things. People are using it to drop their brain, really. To put, every time they have an idea, this is where they store it. People are using it as a wiki. This is how we use it at Typeform, where you document everything that's happening internally. You document the ideas. You document the different processes. Like how do you apply for vacations? What is the policy for to get a new software for the company? These type of things. But it's also very helpful whenever you need to do collaboration because everybody has access to the data and it helps with transparency. And so I discovered Notion when I joined Typeform about 3 years ago. Before that, and I didn't know about this, but I will say I fell in love with it because it was, as you get started in the company, it was easy to find everything there. All the data was there available, and you can just search and you will find the corresponding pages. For the last couple of years, people have been waiting for the Notion API. So they love the tool. They build a lot of the system for themselves, for the company inside Notion. But they were looking to do automations. They were looking to connect it with other data sources, send the data, extract the data from Notion. And well, it has finally arrived and has finally come. This Notion API is now live, and this is why we're really excited to hack with it today. So it looks like we had some issue with the community page and what we said about the time. Oops. Well, we tried something else as well. We tried to post it on LinkedIn today, and I think for LinkedIn we said it was that time. Let's see if people join us anyway. I see there are people on YouTube. We're on Twitch as well. Feel free to leave some comments, and I will look into this. And let's just show you around what we have. And so this is the developer page from Notion, where they expose all the different APIs that they have. And if you're not familiar with Notion, let me just quickly show you what it looks like. So this is a workspace. This is a test workspace. And you define how you're going to work with different teams in the company, who has access to what. But that could be here, how things are working with internally for the engineering team. What are the best practices? What people do? Document how the team should work. And so you have like this idea of a workspace as like the top page, and then underneath you have a bunch of other pages. So here it shows you like how you can create different type of blocks, where are they. And there's also something that's really cool. It's like the database. And so database is where you drop and organize data into a table, really. And so this is a database of meetings, and then for each you see what when was the meeting, who was part of it, some notes about the meeting. You can do that. You can also organize like some ideas for project, for roadmaps. And here you have a view by Kanban. You have a view. You can do that with stream them by different views, who is responsible for what. So like the database could come with a lot of different options to make it easier for your team to look into things. Like for example, I can look. That's it. So this is a table for all the different tasks, right? And you can see who's assigned. So that's me. You can put some priority on some stuff. And if we want, we can have the same database, so the same data, but presented in a different way where they are organized by priorities into different columns. If we want to say that tasks that are assigned to me, then same thing, I could have a different view. So I think you get the gist of what is possible, what people can do with this. It's just a matter of organizing the data. And so for us, in this particular thing we're going to do, we can look at a use case that's interesting to do with Videoask. We're going to see if we can use it for job application, if people can apply to a job through Videoask. And then we're going to drop everything here on a database in Notion. And so like this, the team, whenever there's a new person that has applied, can look at this, leave some comments, and move them to different stages, right? So let's get started by creating this database and make sure that we have everything ready. So here we can put the new table in line. All right, and so that's going to be applicants, for example. Then we're going to have the name of the applicant. We can have when they applied. We can have. Let's see. Yes, we're going to do different things. We want to see their name. We want to see the job. Let's say the job. I want to know what job they applied for. And so we have different jobs. And so right now we can say we have an engineering position. We're going to have someone in data. We're going to have someone in marketing. And we can have someone in sales, HR. So you can define this list. And so if we do this manually, you can say, okay, Nico has applied and he's applied for an HR position. The other thing that's going to be interesting for us is, as we're going to share some video, we want to have the link of the video. So probably here we're going to put the URL and we're going to put the video, what is it called? Answer URL. And then here, maybe they're going to leave us their phone number. So we're going to have like basic details. Okay. And yeah, we get started with this. And so now we can go to Videoask and just create a small Videoask for people to apply. And we can see how we can connect it to. So if we get to Videoask, so we're going to create a new Videoask. And we say apply job application. And we're going to collect details. This is going to be in English, but you can also select a bunch of other languages. This is going to be used for the transcription. And here I'm just going to record myself. I'm going to select the right camera. Hello, I'm Nico, CEO of SF Cheese Party. Tell us more about yourself and why you would like to get a job with us. All right, this is my fake company, SF Cheese Party, cheese delivery in San Francisco. And so people are going to see this, and they're going to apply. They're going to leave all their details, and hopefully they get a job. That's more about yourself. All right, so we got some titles here. And this is a really simple video that's only going to have one question, but if we want, we can add many other questions. So if you want to ask first, where they introduce themselves. If you want to ask them later, why do you think they're qualified for this job? If you want to ask, like, you can do some logic as well. So like if they applied for an engineering job, you can ask more technical questions directly. So you can like filter a bunch of stuff. And then for us now, we're interested to get people to answer to this via video only. And we're going to put the limitation of 2 minutes. That should be enough. And I think with this, we have the video as done. Okay. And so if we test this, we're going to see that I'm asking questions. Yes, good idea. Good idea from Maya to get them to upload a resume. So I'm having a doubt about this because in the Notion API, I think you can't use. So if we look at the here, there's a colon where you can put a file, but I don't think this is available yet via the API. So I don't think you can push files yet. So one way we can do this is also ask another question. And this time I'm not going to record myself. I'll say a resume. Let's look if someone has a resume here on Pixels. All right. Something like this. Upload your resume. And so this, we can turn this into a file upload. But maybe. Yeah, so I think this is a good idea, but for now, because it's not supported on Notion, maybe we're gonna skip that for now. So let's keep it like under just one question right now, and then we can add more stuff later. So now we have our video ask. If we look at this, we can record an answer, and hey, I'm Pedro. I love cheese. I lived in France for 10 years, so I know everything about cheese. You should hire me. All right, so Pedro is an awesome person. And then here, this is where we leave the contact details. So I'll be, hey, this is Pedro, and this is my email, and then send your answer, right? And so for me, as the owner of this Videoask, I now have someone that has answered me. That's their video, their contact details, as well as the transcript that's going to come pretty soon. Now, I didn't ask for the phone number, so I'm going to probably go back to the setups. And then in the setups, I'm going to see. All right, so I'm confused where I find this all the time. I'm going to ask for I'm going to ask to get their phone number. Can I get this somewhere? So recording, no. Thumbnail, no. I think you can customize contact form here. Yeah, here. Now I can say phone number. And if yes, I'm going to do this. So we can keep, and then here I can set up default number, and I'll just say right now it's the US. Okay, and so we decide that we collect those details after the form has been submitted. All right, and so if we do that again, we should see the phone number. So now we can try two things. Yeah, thank you, Maya, for the hit. We can try two things. We're going to connect Videoask to Notion thanks to webhooks. So webhooks are a way to be notified via URL whenever someone submits a Videoask. And to do this, and then we can call the Notion API from there. And so to do this, we have a project on Glitch called Videoask Webhook Receiver. That's an example on how to deal with webhooks with Videoask. We're just going to remix this, and that's going to be the base for our project. And so if you're not familiar with Glitch, Glitch is an online editor developer environment where you can build your app, and it comes with a server. It comes with everything already. You don't have to do anything locally. It's pretty fun to use when it works. Should be loading now. And so what we're going to do with this is this is going to give us a URL that we can then plug to Videoask. And so every time someone submits the answer to the Videoask, we're going to be notified. So let's go ahead and discover where is this. It's going to be around Connect. And here you have webhooks. And so we're going to create a new webhook. And here there are a bunch of events. So Videoask could notify you on a bunch of different things that are happening on your Videoask. And then for us, you're going to be notified on the form response, so as soon as the response comes in. But for us, I think we're going to be interested to get the response transcribed. So the step that's happening after someone has submitted it, we're going to analyze the text and try to find what they said and transcribe this into plain text. And I think it's more interesting to have this, so we have more things to play with. All right, so this has loaded, and now this has given us a URL. Let's give us something easier to remember. All right, so we changed the product, the URL name, and you see that it has a root on /videoask/webhook. So this is going to be the URL of our webhook. And you can subscribe to as many events as you want, but right now we only need one. I'm going to click save. All right, and then here we're going to see all the responses that are coming. And there's even a way for you to test this. And so if we go into our app, into the logs, right now it doesn't do anything really. We're just going to print it to the logs what's coming. And if we look at our test response, let's do this. So this time I'm not Pedro. Who am I going to be? I'm going to be John. Hi, I'm John. I have a lot of experience in sales, and I want to work for you. All right, so now I'm going to leave my details. And as you've seen now, it added the phone number, some random phone number. I hope it's no one's phone number. Let's make sure it's the right format. Yes. Send your answer. Boom, submit it. And now we should have a webhook event. So that's a big JSON file, big JSON payload that was sent from Videoask to us. And if we look in details of what we have the contact. So we can extract the details about the person that has answered. We get their name, email, phone number. We get a thumbnail. So that could be interesting if we want to do it more visual. So if we look at the thumbnail, let's look at this thumbnail. It's a screenshot of of me entering my own Videoask. And as well here, we have form. And so the form is like the detail about the form. But here, there's something called answers, and that will be the answers to all the different questions that we're asked. In our case, there's only one question, so that's going to be only one answer. And if we wanted to get more details about it, here we have it too inside Videoask. And so here we can see the detail about the answer. Each answer has an ID. It has a GIF, whatever you pronounce it. And you see it's moving, so that's even more visual than the thumbnail. We get the media URL, which is like an MP4 video that we can use, as well as some links if you want to share this. And here, this is what I said, the transcription. And so this is helpful if you want to do some search on what people have said. Hi, I'm John. I have a lot of experience in sales. I want to work. I want to work for you. Yeah, I want to work for you. Da-da-da. And then that's the form detail. So we already have in this simple thing, we already have all the data that we want to push to Notion. So now this is the next step, is like, let's deal with the Notion API and see how we can create a page and push those details. So let's go back to our thing here. So this is, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open this as a page. And now we have to create the new integrations. And so the way to do this, you'll go under settings, integrations, and develop your own integration. And here, we're going to create a new bot, a new thing. And so we're going to call this VA live stream. And we're going to pick the Typeform testing workspace. This is where we do all our testing. And this gives us a token. And this is how we're going to authenticate ourselves to the Notion API. Oh, perfect. So we have everything to get ready, really. And now I just have to make some calls. And so the first thing we're going to do, so you can see here in the reference all the different things you can do. Retrieve a database, list all the databases, search in the database, create a page. And I think we want to do two things. We want to make sure we can retrieve the existing database, and then we want to create a page to it. And so to do this, we can do this via Postman, just to check how everything works before doing actual code. So there was somewhere guide. Is it in the guide? Yes, Postman workspace. All right, and I can fork this via live stream, and I have a bunch of different workspaces. I can fork the collection there, and so now I open my workspace here. This is all the API requests that are possible on Notion, and we can already make some requests to this. And so the first thing we need to do here is to put our key, the key that are going to authenticate us to the Notion API. So to do this, I'm going back here. This one here, but you didn't see it. You didn't see it fully. I'm copying it, and I will use this in an environment. So I'm going to create a new one, a new environment. And so that's for the stream. And I think they call this bearer token. And let me just make sure you don't get to see my whole thing. All right. All right. So now I'm authenticated to, I've passed this as an environment. I can say, okay, now we're going to use this, and I can do, what can I do? I can search. So this should search and find all the databases. No. That are on my, where is it? Maybe it's not called bearer token. What is it called? Oh, bearer token. What was it? No, so that's the way to authenticate. That's why. I didn't create it. All right, let me go behind the scene once again. So what I was missing is in the environment that I have created, it doesn't look like it had my variable. And you know why? Because I didn't save it. This is why. So now we are back here. All right, so now we're back here and we can make requests and we don't get anything about this. So we can list all the different users that have access to the workspace. We can find the different databases. And in our case, we want to retrieve this database and see the structure of it. So where are we going? We get here to my database here. And this is going to give us a link. And the database ID is just this little thing. And so if we can just like paste it here. Let's go crazy. Object not found. Oh yes. Okay. So one thing I forgot to do. We have created the token to have access, but we didn't grant access to anything to the token. So right now it doesn't have access to anything. So one thing you need to do is to invite this integration to your database or your documents so it can see them. All right, so can edit. Okay, so now I have invited this thing, and now if I make the request, I find the database. Okay, perfect. And you see how it looks like. Tells you the title of database, the different properties. So that's like the different columns we have. It tells you this one is a select. It tells you all the different options, the phone number, the answer, all the stuff. Okay, and so if we want to create a page here, create a page. Let's see how we're going to do this. So database ID, paste this here. And so this is like an example with a bunch of stuff. And then for us, we don't need that much. So we're going to start again. And we're passing properties, and the properties is all the different columns. So we have to define the value for each column. And we saw when we looked at retrieve database, the different structure it had. So we have the job, we have the name. So we can do something like this. We can say, here there was one that was already with name. So name, let's get rid of this. So name, because name is like the first thing, and it's a title type. There's only one title. It has this structure, and so we can say like this one, and this is how you define the structure, the content of that column. Right? Each has a specific way of placing data, and that depends on Notion structure, and they have this defined into the documentation. Here, update a page property, and they tell you for each property what's the best way to pass data, and then give you examples. And so if we look at this, now we should have a new page with one that has been created. Ta-da! And so what we want to do, so like we saw that this is possible to do with the API. Now we want to do this whenever there is a new submission from Videoask. So this is great for testing the request, making sure everything works. But let's add other stuff as well, just to check what are the other columns. So we had a phone number. So phone number. Little quote, phone number. Okay. And then the phone number, we're going to check in the documentation. in the documentation, what is the format of this? And so the format is just passing something called phone number and the value of a phone number. I don't know if you need to pass the international thing, so we'll try with it. Again, random phone number, and looks like it worked. Right, you have your colon like this. Okay, so you can add as many columns as you want. You can push that to as many columns as you want. All right, so now that we proved this via the Postman collection, doing click, 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 and seems easier to than writing code. Let's write some code and connect with Videoask. So we're back into our project here where we receive the webhook from Videoask, we have extracted the contact details, right? And actually, so we get contacts, we get answers, and we get the first answer, right? Answer, perfect. And so now here, this is where we're going to call Notion to create a page. And for this, we're going to use Notion has created a Node.js library. So we can use the Node.js library for this. So go here, add package, and let's see. What's the name of the official one? What's the name of the official one? So let's find this. Examples. I'm going to do the search directly. The SDK here. JavaScript SDK, Notion SDK. Yes. So let's see if we can find it. Notion SDK. This. So we added this library to our project. Let's look at the documentation, what it says and how to use it. Let's add this to our app. So we don't need this client. And we're going to initialize this client. And you see here, it's asking again for the token. And this is giving us an error because I have nothing called Notion token. So let's try to do this. Here on the .m file, this is where I can store all my different environment variables. And we're going to create one for Notion underscore token. And I'm going to go secret mode again so you don't see my screen. I'm just going to copy the token that I had here. And I should go back to normal, but it looks like it doesn't like it. What does it say? Interesting. Why is there this error? So it's probably because of the Node version that I'm using. To a newer version of Node. It's going to restyle everything. So that's the great stuff about a glitch. Like you just change a line and it automatically redeploys. You don't have to think about redeploying. It's all done for you. All right, app status okay. So we're good to continue. All right, so now we go back here and we look at the function to create a page. And so if we look at the documentation on Notion, they give you examples both with the SDK and with a curl command directly, but us, we're going to use the SDK. And so let's do this, properties. Yes, I'm just going to copy this here for now. And so we can say this should create, so that's going to be called, let's call it motion page. This should create a new page, and we're going to copy what we had here. So this is a structure we want to have. So properties, name, phone number. Right, properties. Probably some yes, I'm missing some closing stuff. Let's start. Copy pasting is not recommended. Otherwise, you mess with your stuff. Okay, so properties. Then we had the name. The name was this. The name was the title. Title gives you an array, and it's an array of an object called text that has something called content. That would be the name of our contact. And so, all right, and the other thing we need to do is to change the database ID. Let's hard code this for now. And here, now instead of putting a random name, we're going to put the name that we received from Videoask. And so if we go back to the payload we had here, it was on contact.name. Simple as it is, contact.name. Right. And so this should now, every time we submit, it should now create a new page on our database. All right, so let's get rid, oops, let's get rid, not duplicate. Oh, let's delete everything. So right now we have nothing in the database. And let's resubmit this. And so I don't want to submit again a Videoask because that's a lot of recording and a lot of invention of names. But if I want, I can just resend the same webhook payload, and I can do that just by resending the payload. All right, so that gives me another ID. But here I had received it, and it says I'm missing something. Oh no, that says everything is okay. Everything is okay. It has received it, and if I go here, there's nothing. So something is not working. So what was the name? Yeah, that was the payload we received. Contact name. I think we can do this in a try catch to see what's the error. See if we get the error back from Notion SDK. No answer. What does it tell us? Ah, my bad. All right, so in our example, we try to have different behavior depending on the event type. And so we had an example for event type form response and an example for form response transcribed. And we were sending the form response transcribed, but I didn't put any logic underneath, so nothing was happening. Right. So we paste the code I had earlier. And so now it should create a page. Ta-da! Okay, it has created a new a new entry in our database. Okay, this is what we wanted. And so now we can put any data we want, right? So we had the phone number. Phone number, we may need to resubmit this again. So phone number, it was contact dot phone number. Contact dot phone number. And we'll get the phone number. And let's resend it. Phone number doesn't exist. How did we? Yes. So the column names, the columns names are case sensitive, and I put a capital N here, and there's no capital N here, so that's why it was not finding it. Yeah, we get the phone number. So we can do this. We can also get here transcription. And if we do the transcription, we're going to get it from the payload. We get the transcription from answers and answers.transcription. So this is let's check. How do we format this? Text content. So we do text. And no, that wasn't that right. Text, object, text, another object, content. And then here we had answer.transcription. What does it say? Oh, rich text. Okay, so this is a different way of formatting this particular type of column. So the example I saw was not the right. Rich text. Let's check. Rich text object. Rich text object. So maybe I think here that's where it's supposed to be rich text. What about now? All right, now it doesn't tell us anything. Haha. So now we have the name, the phone number, and the transcription. And so we can add as many columns like this. But right now, this is great, but we do something with videos. With videos, we're interested to get something a bit more visual, probably, right? And so for this, we can either push something to the content of the page, and I think this is where it gets more interesting. That's something that was not available a couple of weeks ago when the Notion APIs first came out in beta, and that they added, because you want to do these things, but when we open it here, there's a whole page where you can write stuff, right? So it would be better if we could write stuff directly. So yeah, one thing we can do, let's also do the insert URL. So we see another type of column, and property value object. So you will turn out, if you use this a lot, you will realize that having this page open is really valuable to have, because some of the syntax is not really straightforward to get started. And so here, if we want the answer, it's gonna be So we can do two things actually. We can give the answer, the URL to the answer in Videoask, or we can give the URL to the file, whatever you prefer. We can do this. So if we look at this, this is the URL that's generated per response. And so let's analyze this. There's some parts that will never change. So organization, that will never change. Form ID, that should never change for this particular form. The thing that's going to change is this, the interaction ID. So here we should probably find in our payload, we should find this ID. So let's go back to connect webhooks. This is the webhook deliveries, and here, just in front of our eyes, something called interaction ID. So if we use this, we are able to just put a link so people can go directly find it in Videoask. So that was. So that's at the top level, contact, event type. Oh, yeah. So we're not extracting it yet. So let's extract it here. That's a way to deconstruct the whole JSON into different objects and be like, okay, extract this and put it in this variable. And so now if we go here and we put this as a variable, I guess as something that will change, I think, let's submit this again. No error. Boom. And so this gives us a link. Then when we click on this, it opens Videoask and it should go directly to the right answer. So that's a way if people want to watch it. But again, the thing that's made probably more interesting would be to put this into the content of the page. So we go back to the Notion API and see how we can add content to a page. Create a page. What does it say? Children. Array of mixed type. Page content for the new page as an array of block object. So properties are, if we open this page, properties is everything that will be available in the database. And then children is all the blocks that you will have in the content. And if you're not familiar with blocks, this is how Notion talk about the different type of content that you can have in a page. So here I'll say this is a title. I was like, that counts as a block. Here I'm going to write something else. This is another block. If I put an image like this, I click on this. Again, slash. Oh, maybe it's not loading. But like all those different things are blocks. A to-do list is a block. So for you, it's just like we're gonna have to define all this. See, took a bit to load. So we want to create and add some content. And I think the thing we want to do is probably add the video directly if we can. So as we saw, it's on the same API call. So we just make one API call to create a page. It's going to be around children, and it's an array. And now we're going to have to find out how to create different blocks. So create a page, blocks of page object, yeah. Array of blocks objects. Paragraph block. So what do we want? We want Let's do something simple first. We're gonna look at a heading. So here's an example. We can just copy that example. And it say this is gonna be a heading of could be the main heading. So I guess heading 1. And we can use this with the contact name. So this should give us, this should add in the content of the page, this should add a new heading block with the contact name. I'll just keep trying. All right. Ta-da! It has to come here. So that was fast. And you see the difference between a page that has content and a page that doesn't have content. When it has content, it has this little icon here. And so right now, what we need to do is to what we want to do is probably add the image. All right. So we're gonna look at the image block. Does it say here in the example? No, there's no image block. So let's go back here. Image. No image block. Maybe this is not possible yet. Type, paragraph, to do, toggle. Oh no, it's not possible. All right, so keep in mind this is a beta API, right? So it's still very early, and what the things you can do and the things you can't do. Oh, that's sad. That's very sad. But we can do other stuff. We can, for example, we can so two things. As we can't create here add an image, there's also one thing here where each page that you create on the database could have a cover, but could have an icon. But this is not yet available in the API either. But one way to go around this, and it's a hack that I saw on the Slack for Notion devs, is to use a colon. And so let's go to the thumbnail instead. Type URL. And then if we just let's copy it for now. Here. And when we do this, this is not looking anything in particular. But once you've done this and you change the type to a file, you see now there's a small preview. And if you want, this is like a table view, but if we want, we can add a gallery view, and we can make that image. So right now there's it's not very visual, but if we say card preview, not on the content, but on the not on the cover either. Yes, you can pick. So you can pick what's the card preview. It could be the cover, but as we saw, we can't do this via the API. It could be the content, but right now in the content is not very visual either. Like it just shows you the name. But you can also pick a column, and you see that's the column that I had. And so right now this looks like something more visual. And so this is like all the columns that you can put, but we can also, as we're doing this for job applications, we can have a stage thing. So where we say where people are in the process. So the first one was just the mid review. This is where you get started. Interview schedule, that could be another one. And the last one could be rejected, like you're not interested to talk. Hired, right? Someone could be hired directly. And so if we look at doing another view, we can go back to the gallery. Here you can also showcase more things. So if you want to show the stage that people are in, that would be one thing. If you want to show their phone number, but I don't think it's relevant to see this in the gallery, that would be one thing. And if we wanted to create another view with the board, like we saw earlier, they will be grouped by stage. And so we see all the different stages that people are in. So you see, this is, and the same thing, we can do the preview for the card here. So this is very powerful. And certainly you have And suddenly you have your whole workflow set up, and people can apply for jobs, and you see them here. So I've done this manually, but let's do this via the API we had here. Email, and it was a URL, so we can't do. Actually, don't need quotes here. Thumbnail, URL. And we're gonna look at the thumbnail URL, or do we want the GIF? Probably want the GIF. That's gonna be more fun. So this is under answer. Yeah, no, not the GIF. Insert the insert the GIF. That's it. Yeah. And so to make this happen, I need to change this back to URL. This is only a hack for right now. Let's get rid of all those things to see it better. So right now we have nothing. And we send this again. All right, we have the GIF here. If we change it to a file, it's moving. You don't see it because it's really small. But here, it's moving. So that could be fun. All right, so we did connect Videoask to Notion using webhooks. What else can we do here? We saw how to add different type of properties. We saw how to add content, although right now content is quite limited. One thing we can do with the content is if we wanted to do a to-do list, for example, for whoever reviewed this. So what is it, like they expressed themselves correctly, they stated variants, like you can pass like this type of things. So we can add this into our API call to add this type of checklist. Yeah. Tell me, any question on your side? Anything that you want to look at? Right now, it's quite simple, but we can even go more complex, where we can create two databases that are related to each other, and make an API call. So whenever we add a new contact, we check if it already exists in the other contact list. That could be something else. Yeah, why not do this right now? So like this, if you, I'm just checking what other stuff are possible with the bullet list, number list. Yeah, nothing really crazy. But so what we can do, here we have a bunch of applicants that have that's their application. But if people want to apply to two different jobs, we want to keep them into our list, and we want to keep track of their applications and their contacts. So right now, this is more than applicants; it's actually applications. And here we're going to create another base, and this base will be the contacts. Yes, and I think, yeah, we're pretty much going to have the same stuff that we have on the other one. And so the idea is that we just separate the relevant stuff, right? So this is the phone number. We wanted what, the email? We didn't put the email. But that would be the contact. And then now we need to, so we're going to get rid of that colon here. And what are we going to do? We're going to create a connection. We're going to create a correction. That's how they call that, a roll up. And so that would be the contacts. No, it's not a roll up. not what I wanted. A relation. That's what I wanted. Yes. So a relation with contact database. And so now I can say, okay, this is John. That's his detail, his email, whatever. And then here I can say this person that has applied is this person. And so if they applied multiple times, like right now, that's it, that's another application, we can say, oh, it's the same person, and we already have their details. And so you have two views as the contact, as this person. You can see all the different applications they had to the job. Or here, when you're looking at applications, you see who are they. And via the API, we can push this also. And so that's probably going to help us show how we can do a search as well on the API. So now what we want to do is search for the contact in the contact database. Right? Create if it doesn't exist, and then add the relation colon to the application. All right. So how are we going to do the search? Search. Query a database. I think this is what we're looking for. We are looking to, yes, this. So we're going to query the database. We're going to look for the email. Let's say that the email is the unique identifier in this case. And we're going to look if they already exist. So let's just copy this example from the Notion doc. And we're going to call this contact in. And this database ID is going to be our contact database. So centric copy link. This is the ID of the database. Put it in quote. And we're going to search for or filter. Let's see, filter conditions. What does it look like? Filter object equals. Filter property called email equals email equal contact.email. I guess that was what we're getting. All right, let's format this. And let's console log it. So let's see what it tells us when it's found. Let's get rid of the log of the main thing. Up. So right now it's going to look for the contact. It's still going to create something in application. We'll do the logic later for this. We're sending this thing. Oh, boom. It didn't like it. The database. Okay, so the trick that I had on the database is it's probably not the best. Turn into page. Yes. All right, so this is going to be the link. Yes. Definitely not the right link. What about now? Could not find. I changed it, but in the wrong place. Here, this is where I need it. Oh, Okay. We have the same issue that we had earlier. I didn't give access to my integration. So I first have to invite the integration. This is why he's not finding it. What about now? What about now? Okay, so this is the error afterwards. Creating it. All right, so this is the return from contact in Notion, right? So it gives us nothing. And so here we can have some logic that says, oh, if contact.notion.results thanks, it means is equals 0, then create the contact. For this, we're going to copy exactly what we had here earlier. Yeah, up to here. So we're going to create the contact. That's the end of properties, yes. So this is the ID for the contact. Name, put the phone number. We're going to put the email address. That should create. I should create it. Deep. I miss closing the parentheses here. And this is going to be, yeah, page. And we're interested to keep that. We're going to need this ID for later. Dezoom a bit. Page, log the contact page. And I think, oh, this is the end of the if. Okay, so if there is no result, let's create the page. And actually, let's define this error outside first. Yeah, let's put it this way. So content page is nothing. If it doesn't exist, we create the page, we assign this. And if it does exist, we're going to say contact page equal contact in notion.results. There should only be one result, so let's say it's going to be 0. All right, let's try this. So now this should create a contact in our contact database. No. Request failed. Hi, phone number is something that doesn't exist. Where are we? See, this time I put a capital N. What about now? Yes, so it has created here. It's perfect. And yes, my bad. It shouldn't be a constant. It should be a regular variable. Okay. So this is failing. We expect it to be failing. But give me the page. Maybe that you have created it. Yes. Oh, I know why. Because now it exists. So it's not creating anymore. So now we haven't displayed this. So we should. So here on contact page variable, we have either the page that has been created or the page that was returned by the search. Right? Page ID kit, perfect. This is what we need. And so now when we create this, so the phone number doesn't exist in this table anymore, in the application table, but we need to add the relationship. And so the relationship here, what is it going to be called? In application, we call this contact. And we're going to look at creating a relationship. Property, relation, contains an array of page references with the relation property. Yes, here, an example. This is the name of the property, the relation, an ID, an array of IDs. Okay. So we said this relation is called contact. And it's going to have relation and an ID in an array of IDs. And this is going to be contact page ID. Right? Should be. Ta-da! Yes. This one that has been created. And so now we see that this person, John, has all that many applications. And if we look at his profile, he should see more applications. Yes, and so to make it unique, because it's hard to make a difference between John and John, we can also use like the first part of the interaction ID, or the first part. Yeah, so in this case, it's going to be the same. Let's test the whole thing now. So let's get rid of all the different applications. Let's open this into a new tab. This is all the different contacts we have. And let's apply it to a job. All right, I'm Nico. I love cheese and I want to move. No, I'm not happy with what I just said. So whenever you're not happy, you can always start again. All right, right now. I'm Nico. I love cheese and I want to work for your company. All right, I'm going to leave my details. Invent a phone number once again. Send the answer. That should trigger a bunch of things here. That thing is waiting for the transcription, so it might not be instant. Boom. We see that it has created an application. It's perfect. That is linked to a contact. Ta-da! And so suddenly you have a small CRM using Videoask and Notion all together. And yeah, you can use it for this. If I give you an example of what we did internally, we used it for our help center. So whenever you contact the help center of Videoask, it's a Videoask. And we were using Notion like this to keep track of who was contacting us. And in terms of relationships here, we had some bug tracking thing that was used by the engineering team. So we can relate an issue that someone had with the corresponding bugs and say, okay, this bug has been happening for this person, this person, and this person. So it was very convenient to have this whole view. And so you can go really into details of like the things that you can build and the complexity you want to build between your different pages and the different databases. Definitely one thing that is missing right now on the content is like everything around images and files. That will make it super fun when it's there. So it can become more visual, but I showed you a hack where you can turn the thumbnail into something different. Yeah, I think we're pretty much it in terms of what I wanted to show you. Let me know if you have any questions, any comments, things that you want to see us hacking. Right now, this is not an official integration, so it's probably more a hack project if you want to look at the code and do it for yourself. But I'll try to provide the whole documentation so you can do it yourself. But eventually, if you want a more Videoask to Notion integration for real, and it's easier for you than building it yourself, please let us know, and we'll see what we can do. All right. Next stream is going to be about the embed for Typeform next week. So stay tuned. We'll be there. In the meantime, if you have any question about the Typeform, about Videoask, we have a community.typeform.com. Go check this out, see what others are building, and go ask your question. I will see you on the internet. Have fun. Bye-bye.